This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to have you with us on this Friday. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Ray Collins. Saw some sheet lightning out there in the sky.
I saw it too. It was quite a light show out there.
Yeah. Did you predict that was coming on this way, John Scalzi?
Yeah, it was impressive. Absolutely. Rain chances going up today. We're looking at probably about twice the rain chance that we had yesterday today. And then tomorrow, I think even twice the rain chance on top of that. So things are kind of kicking up. We have a trough of low pressure out in Gulf waters gradually drifting closer to us, helping to enhance these rainfall chances. Most of the rain today should fall during the afternoon hours, but we have been brushed by a few scattered showers and a couple of lightning thunderstorms close to the coastline, a few of them tagging areas around Longboat Key and Holmes Beach. And we have the potential over the next hour or so to see perhaps a few of those really just skirting the coastline and bringing a little bit of light rainfall to the coast. Otherwise, we watch for that cluster of clouds out in the center of the Gulf to help bring us better rain chances over the weekend. We'll be talking about that. And of course, we'll be talking about a major hurricane in the Atlantic as well. Our daytime high today tops out near 90. Back to you.
All right, sounds ominous. Talk to you soon. Checking first alert traffic now. 14th Street West, some buildup there between 53rd toward Cortez, also 301 northbound. A little slow already this morning. Farther south, Bayfront looking quite congested as you head south from the Ringling Bridge area toward Orange and Osprey in that direction. Also, you'll see east of Clark Road some buildup in both directions. Out there, also a problem there on the interstate. We'll check what that little icon suggests. An accident northbound at South Creek on I-75. Be aware of that if you're heading north on I-75 from the South County area. Otherwise, all clear South County at 5:02 on your Friday morning.
Our top story this morning, the South Florida Museum in Bradenton is officially taking responsibility in the death of their beloved manatee, Snooty.
The museum released a report that concluded employees knew there were issues with a trapdoor in the tank a week before that fatal accident. More on the story from our Adam Cellini.
After a month, the South Florida Museum has confirmed what many had already assumed. Snooty's death could have been avoided.
His death was both painful and profound to us as individuals and us as an organization.
Museum leaders announced the results of an extensive review conducted by New York attorney and animal welfare expert James Gesualdi, which found aquarium staff knew a week before Snooty's accident that the panel blocking the narrow tunnel where he drowned was loose. But due to poor record keeping and reporting, it wasn't fixed in time.
Those same breakdowns in communication, in reporting, caused us to share information in the 2 days following Snooty's death that was inaccurate. And for that, I am sorry.
Online, the Justice for Snooty Facebook page is calling for museum leaders to resign in light of these findings. But visitors to the museum on Thursday remained sympathetic.
They probably feel worse than anyone, given the history and so forth. So I think whatever they're doing is probably going to be appropriate.
We should have a say. It's whatever the museum decides to do, that's their business.
Accidents do happen, and that they should be more accountable on checking things in the first place.
The museum would not say whether anyone had been fired as a result of these findings.
Out of respect for our employees, we don't talk about our employment issues.
They did say staffing changes are among immediate actions following this critical oversight that left Snooty unsafe inside his own home. Adam Cellini, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Now, the museum will hold a free memorial open house for Snooty from noon to 5 next Sunday, September the 10th.
Hundreds of people taking to the streets last night in Bradenton for International Overdose Awareness Day. Many of the folks who participated know someone who has lost their life because of a drug overdose, or they themselves have been through an overdose. They walked many blocks up and down 14th Street West, holding signs and remembering the many lives lost to drug overdoses. This is the third year they've done this event, and they plan on doing it again next year.
It's heartbreaking, it's horrifying. These are people that are hurting.
For Manatee County to have this many overdose deaths and to literally be #1 per capita in the state, it's kind of unacceptable, and we want to change that.
The Suncoast Action Project helped organize this event. As part of the event, they were handing out free Narcan kits.
Police have released new details on a suspicious death in Sarasota. They say 31-year-old Travis Combs was found dead near the intersection of 22nd Street and Palmdale Avenue on Monday night. Detectives have determined Combs' death is a homicide. They have not said how he died or any information, though, on a possible suspect. A married couple in Parrish arrested for having child pornography. Detectives began investigating the home of Ryan and Alethea Myers in June and used a search warrant to check out electronic devices in their house. Both are facing charges now of sexual performance by a child, and Ryan has also been charged with 1 count of transmission of child pornography.
Dozens of people were out in downtown Sarasota yesterday to protest a new Florida law regarding the death penalty. Predator Patrol rallied outside the Sarasota County Courthouse. They do not agree with the Florida Supreme Court decision to have juries vote unanimously in order to impose the death penalty on a convicted murderer. This could give murderers new sentencing trials. The protest was specifically geared toward a new sentencing hearing for Joseph Smith, but his hearing has since been postponed. The group says they were there to speak for Smith's victim, Carly Bruscia, who no longer has a voice.
I just feel like I get that they changed the law and that's for future perpetrators, but I feel like he's been on death row for how many years now, and he was sentenced to that for a reason, and he's now getting off because they decided to change the law, 10 plus years later.
Smith was originally given the death penalty for the rape and murder of 11-year-old Carly Bruscia. But in July, the Florida Supreme Court ruled Joseph Smith will get a new sentencing trial.
5:07 now. Floodwaters still have not subsided for several areas along the Myakka River in Venice. Sarasota County Emergency Management and Red Cross crews were on hand to help those affected yesterday. They set up portable toilets and provided water and snacks. At its height, the floodwaters were 3 to 4 feet deep in some areas. In the meantime, neighbors continue to support each other.
It's really a neighbors helping neighbors experience. We've had folks come up in their 4x4 trucks and picking up water to take it back to their neighbors that are in there. As you can see, the 2 ladies on the horses, they actually came to the canteen and took some water and snacks and actually used their horses to go through the neighborhood to deliver supplies to anybody in need.
And emergency officials say they will continue to provide water and other services as needed. Other news now, the Help Wanted sign is still out for those who want to drive buses for the Manatee County Area Transit. The county's looking to hire 16 more bus drivers since May. Training takes up to 10 weeks. If you want to get involved, call 749-7116 or check out our link on mysuncoast.com to apply online.
Some good news for another aquatic mammal. It's a record year for dolphin calves in Sarasota Bay. Mote Marine Laboratory in Sarasota is reporting that during the 2017 calving season, 19 calves have been documented by the Sarasota Dolphin Research Program. These 19 calves joined up to 5 generations of dolphins that are in the Sarasota Bay area year-round. Scientists say successful calving years are good news for the health of our local ecosystem.
There's a new way to fly from Sarasota to a new destination in the Northeast. SRQ announced plans that Elite Airlines will add a flight to White Plains, New York, starting in November. White Plains is about 40 minutes north of Manhattan. Fares will be $179 each way. Elite Airways already has flights from SRQ to Portland, Maine, and also to Canada.
In the wake of Harvey, a dog rescue group here in Florida is heading to Texas with loads of supplies. Big Dog Ranch Rescue, which is based in Loxahatchee, is teaming up with a group of volunteers from Orlando. They're taking 2 vans that are filled with donations to some of the hardest hit areas. The volunteers will be giving crates, food, leashes, collars, and many other items to the people who are rescuing the dogs from the floods. The group will also be heading to shelters in the Houston area to pick up dogs that were already in the shelters before the storm to help make room for the newly rescued dogs from the floods. Those dogs will then be brought back to Florida and given to foster families.
If anyone would like to step up and be a foster home even temporarily for us, this is a huge overflow. We typically have 250 to 300 dogs at our facility, and like I said, 10 over here. But for us to be able to save more dogs, we're going to need more foster homes.
Many of the dogs that will be rescued in Texas will actually be treated at Sarasota Animal Hospital. Volunteers here on the Suncoast will also be fostering dogs for Big Dog Ranch Rescue. If you would like to help donate supplies or foster a dog, you can go to their website for more information. And happening today, Temple Emmanuel is launching a Houston Week, a week devoted to raising funds for Harvey relief. They'll be collecting donations of gift cards from stores such as Walmart, Target, Lowe's, and Home Depot. Donors will also have the opportunity to make a personal card that will be mailed to Houston flood victims. Donations will be accepted during business hours at Temple Emmanuel, located at 151 McIntosh Road in Sarasota, starting today through Friday, September 8th.
And in the wake of the Texas tragedy, many of you did turn out to help the Suncoast Blood Bank. Over 350 units of blood have been shipped to Texas to help those in need. The local blood bank is still receiving phone calls from blood centers in Texas looking for more supplies. You can visit scbb.org or call 866-97-BLOOD for donations, locations, and hours of operations. 5:11 right now, first day of September. 5:11. John Scalzi now joins us and looking toward the weekend forecast, John.
White rabbits. First day of September.
Oh, we always forget about that. He always gets us on that.
Got to get that good luck in there, right?
White rabbits.
We're going to need some good luck for the Caribbean, for the Windward Leeward Islands, for parts of the United States, perhaps, as we head into next week because of another really major hurricane out in Atlantic waters. I mean, this is a big one. This is possibly the biggest one of the season.
Oh, wow.
So we'll talk about that coming up in a few.
All right. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, your first alert traffic, and we'll take a look at a local psychologist's unconventional method of helping kids cope with tough situations.
And later in the hour, we take a look at the ongoing recovery effort in Houston.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills. Wow! Stop stains and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
79-degree air temperature with a dew point of 78, so it's still a very thick, humid atmosphere out there. And we've got a few thunderstorms out in the distance on Gulf waters. A few of them, the rain shield from the storms has made a little bit of a light drizzle or passing rainfall, brief rainfall on Anna Maria Island and parts of Holmes Beach. So if you're on in those locations and you're traveling this morning, just be aware that some of your roadways might be a little bit wet this morning. Otherwise, everybody else is dry. 78 degrees, Wauchula, Arcadia, Myakka, Parrish, and Bradenton coming in at 79 and 78 respectively. And then further down to the south, 80 degrees in Inglewood and Venice, and 81 degrees Longboat Key, Northport coming in at 79 and 78 in Arcadia. So Harvey continues to open up, continues to become a less strong storm, but still a huge rainmaker as it moves through Memphis and heads up toward areas of the mid-Atlantic. It still has the potential to drop another 7 to 10 inches of rainfall, so a significant amount of rain still possible. For us, kind of the trailing trough that extends from that storm has a potential for bringing us weekend rains. Right now it's out in the mid-Gulf waters, but it will gradually work its way closer to us over the next 24 hours. We've had a nice southerly flow of air really pushing up that moisture in advance of that trough, and it's produced a few scattered thunderstorms out in Gulf waters along with our land breezes this morning. So we're watching those pop up. Nothing here really serious, and most of them are going to stay offshore. The general motion is to kind of parallel the coastline, so not too terribly worried about those. But a few of them may bring a light shower to close to the coastline this morning before they kind of phase out. And then we'll watch showers and thunderstorms build in the afternoon as our sea breeze begins to develop in a typical kind of summertime fashion. This trough of low pressure enhances our rainfall chances tomorrow and perhaps brings us a few rounds of fairly heavy rainfall as well. Nothing like the rainfall that we saw last week, but still it has the potential of producing thunderstorms around on this holiday weekend. So be careful if you're going to be out of doors, and remember lightning safety tips. That trough should exit the region by Sunday, and we'll have lesser rain chances both on Sunday and on Monday. This trough of low pressure, of course, never makes it to us. Despite the fact that it's first day of September, we're not going to see a cold front around here for some time. Scattered afternoon storms, more rain tomorrow, and then we watch the tropics very carefully next weekend. Here's what's going on in the tropics. Nearby, not much. The area of disturbed weather has kind of fallen apart down in the southern part of the Atlantic, so there's really nothing there that even has a slight potential at this point. And we continue to watch two systems. Another wave just coming off the coast of the Africa. In the long term, once it gets to about this location in the Atlantic, has a 50% chance of developing. And there's Irma. Irma, now a powerful Category 3 hurricane, 115-mile-an-hour winds on a general west track, west-northwest, little north of west, and it continues that way until it starts to dive a little further to the south over the weekend. Then it'll start to hook back to the north, it looks like, by the beginning of next work week, and by Wednesday will be uncomfortably close to the Leeward-Windward Islands. Now, where it goes from there is a big question mark. Nobody knows. It's way too early to tell. Some computer models recurve it back out, probably into the open waters of the Atlantic. Some keep it a little bit closer to the east coast of the United States as a major hurricane. So the bottom line is we'll need to watch this storm very carefully as we head into the beginning of next work week, as water temperatures out here are extremely warm, and that storm is likely to become at least a Category 4 hurricane. We'll watch over the course of the weekend, increasing rain chances, then we'll trim them back down for the second half of the holiday weekend. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Taking a look at your first alert traffic in Manatee County, looks like State Road 70 in both directions, really your biggest slowdowns. Nothing else to really report across Manatee County. And in Sarasota County, there is that slowdown on the other side of 75 as you're heading past Clark Road. Also, looks like over towards the Ringling Causeway, there might be actually just towards the Siesta Key direction. Looks like there is some slowdowns in that area. There is that accident still at South Creek in the northbound lanes on I-75, so keep that in mind if you're heading out the door. Other than that, Business 41 looking pretty good at 520 on your Friday morning. Well, teaching children and teens how to deal with difficult life situations is the goal of one local psychologist.
The Sarasota School District has approved a new program called Social Black Belt by Dr. Christopher Cortman. Our Christopher Brantley shows us how this program works.
His tweed jacket and calming demeanor may make him look like the stereotypical psychologist, but there's nothing typical about him. In fact, he's a psychologist on a mission.
Our goal is to help as many children as possible.
Dr. Christopher Cortman, whose doctorate is in psychology, originally created the Social Black Belt program for adults, but then realized it works for all ages, and now he's hoping to help school students.
We teach them responsibility, that any behavior they choose begins with giving themselves permission to engage in that behavior.
It's all built around what Dr. Cortman calls 10 truths. One of them is that time does not heal all wounds. He wants to teach students that they can control their emotions, especially if they're being bullied or if their parents are going through a divorce.
Your emotions are not these invaders from another planet that you can't control. And we teach that in our society. Well, you can't change how you feel. Yeah, you actually can, because you create your own feelings by the way you perceive reality.
The Sarasota County School District has allocated up to $200,000 in the budget to go towards the program. Principals have an option whether to join in.
Academics goes hand in hand with emotional wellness and social black belt in particular.
School board member Eric Robinson has committed to donating his school district salary to programs like this. So far, thousands of his own dollars have gone to supporting the social black belt in places like Northport High School.
I went there a couple times, and I gotta admit, I was pleasantly surprised to see the level of engagement and the level of sharing, and it fostered a sense of community.
Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
So Dr. Cortman will present the program to principals in October.
That's right. After that, it'll be up to them to decide if it's a good fit for their school. If approved, the program could be implemented right away.
It's expensive, $200,000,
yeah.
But I like that concept. Take responsibility for your emotions.
Sounds like a good action plan.
For all of us.
Yeah.
All right, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. Apple's spaceship headquarters will be the site for the company's long-awaited unveiling of the iPhone 8.
And coming up at 5:30, the Trump administration's plan for a border wall is taking its first steps. We'll have those stories and more when we come back.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received J.D. Power Awards for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it? Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions. Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
I put a story up on my page about why it's so expensive to fly from SRQ. So you can check out that story at Ray Collins, ABC 7. And you just posted a thing about a live guest we have next hour.
Yes. We will have a live guest from Houston, Sugar Land, actually, Texas, to talk a little bit about what Hurricane Harvey has been like for him. So we definitely want you guys to join us for that at 6:12 a.m. Also, you're going to Italy next week. Will you keep us updated on your social media page?
I will.
Even just a few pictures, I beg you.
Really? I will call every morning.
Oh, well, thanks.
Thank you for that. All right, 5:25 on your Friday morning.
Well, Amazon is expanding its free alcohol delivery program.
It's Friday. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. ABC's Diane Macedo and Kenneth Moten have that and more in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Apple users can put September 12th in their iPhone calendars.
That's when we expect to see the next generation iPhone. Apple made it official with a media invite saying, "Let's meet at our place." It will be the first event at Apple's new headquarters in Cupertino.
We also expect to see a new iPhone 7S and 7S Plus and a new watch. You can now catch Lyft in more states.
The ride-hailing service has expanded and is now operating in 40 states. Lyft says it now services more areas in the U.S. than its competitor Uber. And Amazon Prime is expanding its 2-hour delivery service for alcohol.
It used to only be available in Seattle. Now Amazon Prime members can order beer, wine, or liquor in other cities, including LA, Chicago, Phoenix, Minneapolis, and right here in New York City.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Those are great Tech Bites. And you all have a great day and a great weekend. Gotta go order from Amazon.
Yeah.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Cat's Pride Litter.
One moment we're snuggling, and the next he wants nothing to do with me.
Duke Meowington says you're ignoring his needs. How does that make you feel?
What? I give him treats. I take care of the litter box.
About what's in the box. You two should try Cat's Pride, Fresh and Light Ultimate Care.
Cats are complicated. Great litter is simple. Look for Fresh and Light Ultimate Care in the green jug, the best performing lightweight litter.
He would like you to pet him now. But just for 3 seconds or he'll scratch the crap out of you.
Get an Ashley living room set starting at just $24.99 a week, all without credit, only at Rent-A-Center.
When heartburn hits, fight back fast with Tums Chewy Bites. Fast relief in every bite. Crunchy outside, chewy inside. Tums Chewy Bites.
This is an important medical announcement. Talcum powder products from some of the best-known brands have been linked to ovarian cancer. Any woman who has used a talcum powder product and has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that women with long-term use of talcum powder, including baby powder for feminine hygiene, can increase the risk of contracting ovarian cancer. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to women who should have been warned about the risks of ovarian cancer with long-term use of talcum powder. Call the Talcum Powder Hotline. If you or a loved one used talcum powder and were diagnosed or died from ovarian cancer, you must call now.
Call 800-570-7599, 800-570-7599.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima,
A contract that weathered Tet. A pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq. An IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Start your day with a new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
This half hour on Good Morning Suncoast, the mayor of Houston says they're turning a corner toward recovery. We'll have an update in the wake of the devastation of Harvey.
Plus, gas prices are at an all-time high for the year. How Hurricane Harvey is causing you to pay more at the pump.
And the Houston Astros wrap up a 3-game homestand at their temporary home in St. Petersburg while their front office pulled off a major player acquisition. Those stories and more coming up on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
And good morning, early risers. We have made it to Friday, end of the week, and the start of a new month, September.
I know. Every time I get to September, I get all excited thinking it's not quite fall yet, but we're almost there. I always start thinking of pumpkin spice things and carving pumpkins, but I know we live in Florida, so.
Yeah, this being your first fall in Florida, you won't see much difference.
I know. Right. That's okay.
Let's get the forecast now for the weekend from meteorologist John Scalzi. Hey, John.
Hi. Although meteorological fall starts today in terms of meteorology, because the meteorological seasons are different than the actual calendar seasons because of climatology. We look at climatology and we see this month as the first month when the average temperature is going to dip below 90.
Well, there's a fun fact.
89 instead of 90. That's a big difference. Hey, I'll take what I can get, right? We're looking at a few scattered showers out in Gulf waters this morning, even had a thunderstorm or two. I think the thunderstorm's about done for now, but we will see them return later this afternoon. Still a chance of one of those showers perhaps getting close enough to the coastline to bring a little light rain to the immediate coastline, to the barrier islands. But otherwise, we'll watch for that line of clouds out in Gulf waters to approach this weekend. That'll bring us a better rain chance. We'll talk about that coming up in a few. Back to you guys.
John. All right, checking first alert traffic now. No problems to speak of so far this morning in Manatee County. Checking farther south now to Sarasota. A couple issues there along the bayfront as you head southbound on 41 along the Marina Jack area. Also 41 northbound, Bee Ridge as you head towards Siesta Drive and Weber. And our final map will continue to show us an issue in the northbound lane of I-75 at South Creek. Be aware of that little slowdown that might cause some problems there. Otherwise, all clear at 5:33 on your Friday morning.
Topping our news this hour, we take a look at the ongoing recovery efforts around the Gulf in the wake of Harvey.
The mayor says the city is open for business already. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has the latest.
Harvey still wreaking havoc in East Texas. This in Beaumont, where helicopters are the only way rescuers can get to the families stranded in their flooded homes and evacuate some 200 other patients from a local hospital.
Hey, check that one. I'm going to check this one.
In the city of Vidor, volunteers are using boats and the Army rescue trucks to get people to higher ground.
I never thought it would happen to me. It always happens to somebody else, but never to you. And now it is.
And in Crosby, fire at a chemical plant has residents within a mile and a half still unable to return home, with officials warning more fires are inevitable. But in other hard-hit areas where Harvey has come and gone, cleanup now underway.
I have the opportunity to do an aerial view of the city of Houston today.
The Houston mayor says this city is turning the corner with help from countless volunteers, including Olympic gold medalist Simone Biles.
I think everyone wants to just give back as much as possible because volunteering helps, giving blood helps. Anything that we can do, we want to try to help.
And residents in Rockport, where Harvey first hit, they even got help from Vice President Mike Pence in Texas Thursday, surveying the devastation. Across Texas, we are told more than 30,000 people are still in shelters, and FEMA officials say the work has begun to get them out of these shelters and into hotels, but still no timeline as to when those residents can return home. That is, if they even have a home to return to. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, Houston.
Also helping in Texas is the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. Officers have rescued more than 500 storm victims since arriving in the area. Nearly 125 FWC officers are continuing ongoing search and rescue missions. They have 40 boats, 17 high water vehicles, 2 mobile command centers, and 8 shallow draft vessels in Texas now. In addition, more than 400 volunteers from Florida are on hand. Volunteer Florida is also coordinating with Kellogg's, which has given 200 trucks of food items to give to areas in need. It appears Hurricane Harvey has caused gas prices to be the highest they've been all year. National average now $2.45. That's a few pennies more than Florida's average, $2.41. AAA officials say you should expect gas prices to rise another 5 to 10 cents in the near future due to tightened access to supply in the Gulf and high gas demand before Labor Day. They say prices will be the highest they've been in the past 3 years.
New details this morning as steps to build President Trump's border wall are moving forward. The Department of Homeland Security announcing 4 vendors that it has selected to build prototypes for that wall. The selected designs will be built along the San Diego border, and 4 to 8 prototypes are anticipated. The companies who were selected from hundreds of applicants are no strangers to large-scale contracting projects. One vendor built the U.S. Embassy in Burundi, and another vendor, WG Yates, built the Gulfport Biloxi International Airport and parts of the University of Alabama. The final prototypes will be announced next week. 5:36 this morning, and a controversial sheriff in Milwaukee turning in his resignation yesterday. Sheriff David Clark, a loyal supporter of President Trump, had served since 2002. He's known for his often conservative commentary. Clark has been rivaled by civil rights advocates and criticized for his management of the county jail. He raised his national profile as a regular surrogate for the Trump campaign. In his resignation letter, he did not provide any reasons for his departure.
Meantime, an update now from Washington. The State Department is telling Russia to close its consulate in San Francisco. Russia will be forced to close their 2 annexes also in Washington and New York. This is a response to Moscow's mandated cuts of U.S. diplomatic missions in Russia. It is the latest in a string of dueling diplomatic penalties, starting in the wake of revelations that Russia meddled in the 2016 U.S. elections. At the time, then President Obama ordered the expulsion of 35 Russian diplomats and the seizure of 2 Russian government compounds.
The Florida Board of Governors is approving a $5.1 billion budget request for the state university system. This budget will go towards the school year beginning in August of 2018. It's a near 4% increase in state funding over this year, including a $100 million increase in performance funding for the 12 schools. The universities also outlined another $326 million in proposals that will be considered in the upcoming legislative season. And a former NFL player and U.S. Army Ranger is being honored by his alma mater. Arizona State University unveiled a statue of Pat Tillman at the school's home field of Sun Devil Stadium. Tillman's family, friends, and former teammates were among those on hand for the unveiling. Current Arizona State players will now pass by and touch that statue every time they take the field before each home game. Tillman walked away from his football career after the September 11th attacks to enlist in the Army. He died while serving in Afghanistan in 2004.
The University of Florida is facing possible legal action by white nationalists. UF officials say a group headed by Richard Spencer is threatening legal action after the school refused to rent its space on campus for a September event. The UF president, Kent Fuchs, said in a statement that the group has retained legal counsel and plans to pursue efforts to hold the event as requested. Fuchs says they're prepared to defend their decision. The university denied the group's request earlier this month after the violence in Charlottesville, Virginia.
New details on the ongoing battle between Governor Rick Scott and State Attorney Aramis Ayala. The court ruled yesterday that the Orlando State Attorney showed a misunderstanding of Florida law by not considering use of the death penalty on a case-by-case basis. Governor Scott has taken more than 25 murder cases from Ayala and reassigned them to a different prosecutor after she said that her office would no longer seek the death penalty. Scott's communications director released a statement on the case, saying until State Attorney Ayala fully recants her statement that she will not seek the death penalty in any case, and the governor is convinced that crime victims will be protected and justice will be served, our office does not plan to return any of the 29 cases that are currently being prosecuted by State Attorney Brad King. State Attorney Ayala needs to make it clear that her office will seek the death penalty as outlined in Florida law.
Well, the Florida Gators will be shorthanded as they open the season tomorrow against Michigan in a rare game in Dallas. The Gators suspended their starting running back Jordan Scarlett and receiver Rick Wells for their roles in an ongoing debit card fraud. 7 others, including the leading receiver Antonio Callaway, were also suspended earlier this month for the fraud at a campus bookstore. And also a freshman receiver was caught with marijuana.
Last night was Game 3 between the Rangers and the Astros at Tropicana Field, where the series had moved because of Hurricane Harvey. All proceeds from that game went to storm relief. Now at the bottom of the first, with George Springer on first and no outs, Nick Martinez strikes out Alex Bregman, and Brett Nicholas attempts the pickoff throw to second. Bregman is called for batter interference, which leads to Astro manager A.J. Hinch being tossed out of the game. Rangers are the first on the board with 1, but that lead is short-lived. Later on at the bottom of the 8th, 2 on and 2 out. Derek Fisher grounds 1 down the third baseline, and it's fair for a 2 RBI single. But the Rangers cannot bring it around. The Houston Astros take home the win. The final score, 5-1.
Nice having them here. So while this was going on, the Houston Astros playing in St. Petersburg, which is kind of discombobulating, the front office had the biggest blockbuster trade of the year. You don't have to be a baseball fan. This is kind of interesting. Justin Verlander, one of the best pitchers of baseball. Detroit just kind of traded to Houston. Pack, big deal. His contract is $78 million.
Well, there you go.
And he's also with Kate Upton. To get your attention there. Justin Verlander now with the Houston Astros. Big acquisition in the world of baseball.
All happening yesterday.
Yeah. You think they'd be awfully busy between Harvey and playing in St. Pete, but just under the deadline.
Well, everybody's still 0-0, so there's a lot of planning going on right now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We have across the region some pretty decent weather today. I think some deteriorating weather tomorrow, perhaps. We'll talk about that in a second.
All right, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, your first alert traffic. And it's safe to say many people are glued to their phones, but your mobile device is actually quite the germ magnet.
We'll give you some tips on how to keep your phone pristine up next in Health Smart.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid. Your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-319-0237.
Independence U, for an independent you.
Call 1-800-319-0237.
It's a lot of fun. You got to come out.
We come down from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC 7 is seeking an account executive to join our winning sales team. This is an outside sales position covering the Tampa DMA. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply. Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we are continuing to see some very warm, muggy conditions across the Suncoast. Water is still evaporating from locations where the ground was saturated, and with daytime heating, I think we'll probably see another warm, muggy afternoon. Today, though, a little bit different because the air aloft is a little moister, so consequently, we have a better chance of seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Already saw a few out in Gulf waters this morning. I think as we head into the next several mornings, we're likely to see similar situation. We have a northeast wind at about 3 right now. We have a dew point value in the upper 70s. Yesterday, the dew point value hit 80. That was the second time this week that happened, and it just doesn't get any thicker or more humid in the state of Florida than an 80-degree dew point. 78 degrees in Wauchula, Arcadia, Mayaca coming in at 79, so is Parrish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch, and Northport. 78 degrees in Punta Gorda, and we have in Inglewood 80, as well as Venice, and Longboat Key comes in at 81. So across the region right now, Harvey continues to open up, becoming an extratropical system and eventually just degrading into a mass of showers absorbed by a frontal boundary to the north of us as it exits off the mid-Atlantic coast later today. Still producing some fair amount of rainfall through the Ohio Valley, and there could be some, again, additional rainfalls totals here that approach 8, perhaps even 10 inches, especially as it gets closer to the more mountainous regions. We have some scattered showers and thunderstorms kind of ringing the state, brought on by a general southerly flow aloft and some land breezes. Plus a trough of low pressure located back to the west, gradually drifting in this direction, will eventually help to bring us better chances of rainfall as we head into tomorrow. Currently, the scattered showers kind of in the process of dissipating across the region. Nothing over land at this hour. So I don't really expect to see much in the way of any bother to your morning commute. These showers are basically going to die out over the Gulf waters. They continue to drift to the north, so there's really not a big issue here. Trough of low pressure advances toward the state of Florida. Harvey continues to be absorbed by a mid-latitude system, and we watch for better chances of rain tomorrow. Some of the rain showers tomorrow could be kind of heavy. So, scattered showers, more rain, and we're watching the tropics carefully. Far away from the United States, almost 3,000 miles away, Irma continues to track. Also south of that, an area of disturbed weather has a 50% chance of developing, but Irma holds our attention right now. A Category 3 storm. It's kind of decreased a little bit in structure and intensity because of some drier air to the north and some moderately warm waters. But that shouldn't last. It's forecast to carry on with this westward motion as a Category 3 storm, maybe even diving a little southwest before kind of turning a little bit more northwest, building in intensity as it gets into warm waters and perhaps threatening the Windward or Leeward Islands. Too early to tell where it goes from here, but one computer model, which had it steering more in a westward direction with time, is tending to kind of push it a little bit further to the north with time and continuing to intensify it. Now, anything beyond 5 days is really fantasy at this point, but the fact is we could have a major hurricane in the near Atlantic by midweek next week, so we'll need to keep an eye on it. That's the takeaway from that graphic. Look for a 50% chance on Saturday and decreasing rain chances next work week. Back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Taking a look at your first alert traffic on your Friday morning. Looks like Manatee County seeing some slowdowns on 301 heading northbound as you're heading out of downtown Bradenton, actually southbound, excuse me. And in Sarasota County, there are some slowdowns still over towards the Bayfront as you're passing across from the Ringling Causeway by the Sailor and Nurse statue. Bee Ridge and Clark Road seeing some congestion as well. And that accident is still ongoing at South Creek and I-75 in the northbound lanes, but Business 41 looking pretty good if you're heading out the door at 5:50 on your Friday morning. In this hour's Health Smart, your cell phone may be an essential part of your day-to-day operations, but the amount of bacteria it attracts is enough to be concerned. Kim Hutcherson will show us how to keep your phone germ-free.
Research shows that cell phones are far dirtier than most people think. A study published in June found more than 17,000 bacterial gene copies on the phones of high school students. And a 2012 study determined that cell phones have 10 times the amount of bacteria found on most toilet seats. Most of that bacteria won't have negative health consequences, but a few might. Studies have found dangerous pathogens on cell phones, including Streptococcus, MRSA, and E. coli. You won't necessarily get sick just because it's on your phone, but you do need to be careful and engage in some basic hygiene. Your hands are the biggest contributors to filth on your phone. The most important piece of advice is to wash your hands regularly, several times a day. Experts also advise you keep your phone out of the bathroom. You can also clean your phone periodically with a soft microfiber cloth, an antibacterial wipe, or a combination of 60% water and 40% rubbing alcohol. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
I do that all the time. I'll get those little hand wipes sometimes and kind of wipe down my phones.
Yeah,
just
good idea.
You never know what's on those surfaces, and you have them right by your face, too. So.
Hold my phone, please.
No. No, thank you.
5:51 will update the day's top local news headlines next. And in Alaska, a pumpkin contest for the heaviest pumpkin.
We'll tell you about the winner of this pumpkin weigh-off when we come back.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received J.D. Power Awards for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
Welcome back. 5:55 this morning. Here are some of the top stories on the Suncoast today.
The South Florida Museum now says the death of their prize exhibit was preventable. They admit that staff noticed a faulty trap door in the tank, but repairs were not made. Snooty got stuck and drowned 5 weeks ago.
Plus, people are upset about the prospect of facing a new sentencing trial for Carly Bruce's killer, protested on the streets of Sarasota yesterday. Now that the state is requiring death penalty verdicts be unanimous, the little girl's killer, Joseph Smith, will leave death row and return to Sarasota as early as next year to face a new sentencing phase.
And Elite Airlines will now offer direct flights from SRQ to White Plains, New York. White Plains about 25 miles north of Manhattan. And finally, the Alaska State Fair announced the winner of its 12th annual Great Pumpkin Weigh-Off. David Isles of the North Pole took top prize with his pumpkin weighing 1,231 pounds. Dale Marshall of Anchorage, second place, 1,100 pounds. The record was last year, 1,469 pounds. How did they make the pumpkins so big there?
I have no idea.
That's amazing. We have
Good
a live guest next hour who will talk to us from Sugar Land, Texas. He just moved there from Broward County.
Yeah.
Live on the phone. That's next hour. Stay with us.